Welcome to the Smoking Podcast or Smoking Room. I don't. I want to start doing videos on my YouTube page. This one, for I don't know, discussing world politics, discussing cigars, man, discussing tattoos, discussing games, discussing movies, discussing a little bit of everything, anything and everything. Um, I want to try to start getting some other people involved in it too. I think that would be a real fun project. I want to start reporting some news as well. I don't know how I'm going to necessarily do that as of right this second, but I really am trying to put out more content for everybody. Um, and I'm going to try to be a biased news source. I don't want to be that Republican or that Democrat. I just want to have good discussions. I don't want to have debate, or I want to have good debates and discussions. Don't want heated arguments. Um, so, first things first. Most of these, I'm gonna try to put them out once a week, once a month, something like that. Give me 1 second. But I want to just get some videos out there to try to bring more people into the loop, into more, I don't know, some more fun. I know there's some million pages out there that do this kind of thing, but at the same time, I really want to do my own thing, and hopefully some people out there feel the same way. So, first things first, we are going to light up it is a Deadwood, it's Deadwood Tobacco Company. It is a Sweet Jane. It is one of my favorite cigars. Here's the label. Hopefully you can see it. It is fantastic. I don't even know how to describe it. I am no means a cigar connoisseur. I love cigars. I usually smoke one a week. I was up to one a week for a while, and then I've kind of died down a little bit. I know smoking's not great for your health, but nothing is really. So I like to cut them just a little bit off, just like that. That's not a great cutter, kind of do that. It's not very even. I don't know why I have that cutter down here. It's kind of a shitty cutter. I have a not butane, sorry. Yeah, butane. Is it butane? Yeah, butane. You're not supposed to use like Zippos. They say it ruins the flavor. So this thing has a nice flame on it. I always warm it up a little bit. Start getting it nice and warm. I'm going to turn that down just a tish. And then I rotate it to try to get an even flavor across it. Now, I think they use a flavoring on this because, I don't know, it has a very, not tarish, but it coats your lip and some, I don't know, it tastes like a flavoring almost. It's super good. I love this cigar. I've actually found it at a local cigar shop. I'm not sponsored by them. I hope at some time it'll be Leaf Brothers Cigar here in Ankeny, Iowa. They have some of the best cigars I've ever had there. And these things are always super, I wouldn't say super smooth. The last couple I had weren't all that smooth. But they were wrapped just a little bit tight. And they were a little hard to smoke. The wife likes to smoke these particular ones if we can find them. I haven't been able to find them except for online, and they're a little expensive online. So, I finally found a shop. They were a little too tight. Not a lot I could do about that, but it was a really good cigar. So, the discussion I want to talk about a little bit today is just kind of a basic one. is just, why in the world, why are we at where we're at? Like, why are we at the time? It's 2020, halfway through 2020. We as a civilization have been living together for millenniums, thousands and thousands of years. I'm not real sure when the first human settlements were, but I know they were a couple thousand BC, a few thousand BC, I think maybe even 10,000 BC. I'm not real sure on the math there. Why, as a society today, have we decided that now's the time to collapse everywhere? I mean, if you really look at it, we have been in this state of constant disarray for the last 20 freaking years. And I mean, yeah, you can blame some of that on politics. I blame a lot of it on politics. If you took politics out of the world, I think the world would be a better place. I'm not saying government. I believe in a lot less government. You shouldn't interfere with my daily life necessarily. I understand the reasoning behind certain things. But at the same time, they really shouldn't tell me how to live my life. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with people thinking that the government can dictate how I can spend my free time. God, I love these cigars, man. They're such a smooth. It's almost like a cherry flavor. I don't even know if I'd say cherry. I don't know. It just, they're so good. They're not a harsh cigar. They don't dry your mouth out a ton like a lot of cigars do. That one is by far my favorite. Yeah. Anyways, kind of keep moving along on the conversation. Well, discussions, I guess you should say. So when did we stop caring about each other? Because I feel like since segregation ended and sometime between when segregation ended and when the terrorists hit us, most people in the world were getting along. Now, I know the Russians and Americans weren't getting along, but that's power, that's politics again. Again, if you take out the politics, a lot of problems go away. I would like to know, why have we lost our humanity? I'm a strong believer in, I don't care what your skin color is. You're a human to me. And I live in America. You're an American. If you live here and you're legal here, you are an American. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't care what your color is. I don't care what religion is. I don't care. But I don't understand why there's so many people who do care. Oh, you're black, you're white. What is the difference? Like, seriously, why are we looking at skin color as the difference between people? That's all I want to know. Like, why? Just why? And that's not a racist comment. That's not I don't care about Black Lives Matter. I care about all lives. I just don't understand why we think the whole world needs to revolve around every single person. When it doesn't. It rounds we don't it we're sitting on a spinning rock flying through space. As Joe Rogan put it, we're space monkeys on a rock going through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour. We should all be in this together. Now, I'm also a strong believer in that's not necessarily going to happen. It's a fact of life. It's always been that way. We've always had one group of people hating another group. And I just don't. It's just a dumb thing to do. I just don't know. Now, I support our troops across seas. They are the number one thing. We should take care of them for the rest of their lives. Once you serve a tour, you shouldn't have to worry about money. You shouldn't have to worry about housing. I understand they have the GI Bill and they have every opportunity after they get out of the service to get good jobs. There's a lot of places hiring. But why do we, I don't know what sorry. Why can't we take care of them? Why are politicians making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year when a soldier who risks his life every single day gets paid almost less than what minimum wage workers make? Now, yes, you can work your way up. But again, politics. And I think that's what we're going to stick today on, is politics. I don't care if you're right. I don't care if you're left. I don't care if you sit in the middle. If you sit down with me and have a good conversation about your side, if I ask for it. If I don't ask for it, I don't want it. If I ask for it and you give me good points why you sit on the left, the right, the middle, then I will listen to you. And I'll have a discussion of saying why I think my side is better, or why I think or why I go this way. I will say that there's certain things that I swing left on, and there's certain things I swing right on. When it comes to marriage, I don't care what orientation you think you are, or I don't care what sex you want to marry. If you want to marry a dude, by all means marry a dude. If you're a woman and you want to marry a woman, marry a woman. It doesn't affect my daily life in the slightest. Don't care. Abortion. It doesn't affect my life. If you're a woman who don't think you can raise that child and you think abortion's the right way, that's on you, not on me. It doesn't affect me. You can call it murder, you can call it whatever you want. It's the woman's right to choose that. Sorry. That sounds like the wife may be heading down here. It's your right. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. So I typically swing a little bit left on those remarks because I don't care. Republicans seem to care so much about that. See, the cigar's starting to wrap. It's starting to get a little tight. And it's not as smoky as it once was. Try to get a little bit more heat back in there. There we go. You almost have to smoke this hot fast. Which is almost the opposite of what you want to do for most cigars. You want to smoke them slow because it starts to heat up faster. Things I swing a little bit right on. Gun control. Thou shall not be infringed. That's what I'll say about that. I am a gun-toting American. I believe in the right of being able to protect my family, my home, my property, and nobody should have the right to take that away from me. Um, that's how I see. That's how I see guns. It's my personal right. I own several of them, and I will continue to own them. I will fight for my right to own them, and that is my personal belief. That is my family's belief. Things I swing more right on again are police officers. My entire family were police officers. My dad, uncle, grandparents, mom, cousins, in-law. Well, not in-laws. My cousin-in-laws. Have all been officers. Um, Fucking cigar burned out. Like this box was wrapped too tight, so they don't like to stay lit, which is very annoying. They were all cops, so I support them 100%. I have a tattoo on the back of my leg that shows my support towards law enforcement and this great country. Getting troops, I follow 100%. I'll always have their backs. They say that we lose 22 of them a day. I don't necessarily believe that we lose 22 of them a day, but I know that it is a problem with suicides in that community because of undiagnosed PTSD, and things that I don't even know about necessarily. But I feel like a lot of that could be mitigated by taking the politics out of that realm and just giving them what they deserve. Not this bullshit of not the bullshit. Just not the bullshit. Years at the VA line, and it's like, why are we treating these men and women who served our country for our freedoms so poorly? I just never understood that. While a politician that only works fucking 100 days a year makes hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in backdoor deals. I mean, it's a known fact they go around making deals with companies to try to lobby things to get into, to help, car manufacturers and, well, more specifically, oil companies and tobacco. I just don't understand why we're having such a hard time getting that through our thick skulls. The politicians behind the scenes create a majority of the problems in the world today. Are there things that we'll never know about that they handle, that national security wise, that we don't know about? Stopping terrorist attacks? Absolutely. But at the same time, they do deals that hurt us. And I don't know if they necessarily know it or if they just don't care. It pads their pocketbook. I'm a true believer in the fact that we should go back to what politics used to be, and that was you don't make money. You don't get a salary. The president, I can kind of understand. But the senators and the representatives, they don't work a whole lot realistically. I mean, they're only working like 100 days a year, I think I think that's what it is. And a majority of the rest of the time they're making deals or they're trying to save face for the next election. I think if we got people into office who didn't want the salary or they didn't get a salary and they cared about the country and not about their face to get reelected, this country would be a whole lot better off. We would be sitting in a spot where these riots wouldn't be happening because the government wouldn't be pushing that. And well, not even necessarily the government. I don't think it had gotten to the extremes of the far right and the far left. Well, far left and far right. Making sure I know which hand is which. So, it's just stupid that we live in this type of society right now. I think we all should take time off from each other and discover what it means to be human. I think I'll save that discussion for another time. I think we need strong Americans to stand up. There's a quote that always plays in the back of my mind, and it is, hard times create great men, great people. We'll be sexist. Great people. There has been great women in the world's history that have done more for the world than I will ever. So, hard times create great people. Great people create good times. Good times create soft people. Soft people create hard times. And I think we're in that generation of soft people creating hard times. We are artificially making it harder to live with each other by the way we're treating each other. If we would just stop, smell the roses, and realize that we're all in this together, a lot of shit would change real quick. If everybody would stop for a second, research things, learn things, look at things from a non-biased point of view, you will see everybody on each political side does things horrible. And all the news swirling about the Q thing and the conspiracy behind the child sex trafficking stuff. Conspiracy theories will always happen. I can't say it's not happening. I can't say it is happening. There's a lot of evidence pointing probably to both ways. I know very little. I have done very little research on it. The problem is when you start delving into it, which news sources can you trust? Your CNNs and everything on one hand have been caught lying so many times you can't trust them. But at the same time, the other side of the coin, they do the same thing. They only show their side of the story. So you're never getting the full piece of info. There's always going to be something missing out of that middle piece. And that middle piece is where everybody is sitting. Or where that piece, it's a missing piece. Where everybody, if that missing piece came out, we would see the true story. Now, if this whole thing of the child sex slave in Hollywood becomes true, and excuse me, is true, and everybody, and it's coming to light soon. We got a bigger fucking problem to handle. We if this happens, I would say everybody in office, and I don't care if you like them or dislike them, I think we need to get rid of everybody in office immediately. The day after, the people, we need to stand up and say everybody needs to leave. We need to re-elect everybody. And do it in a it wouldn't be a non-biased way. You couldn't say that. But at the same time, you would need to do it like an electoral for every position across the nation. And I don't know where you would stop necessarily for government. I would say possibly governors of state. Well, I don't even know. You can't even say like the mayors of cities, because who knows who's all involved. I think we're not as corrupt as some countries, but I think the corruption in the politics at the highest levels is bad. I can't say one side or the other is worse, but I think we need to seriously look at everything as a country. Yeah, see, it died again. It's really bad to relight cigars. It supposedly loses a lot of flavor and it overheats them. But when they're wrapped so freaking tight, you kind of have to. It kind of sucks. We need to step together as a country and show that this is not okay. The people out there saying cops are bad, they're not. They're people protecting lives. And this is coming from somebody who knows so many cops, it's not even funny. I literally almost grew up in a precinct. My summers were spent when my dad was training. He was a range instructor for a county in Colorado for many years. And I've seen all walks of life there. Are all the cops that I've ever met great cops or great people? No. There's bad ones. I can tell you that right now. But in every single aspect of life, there's always bad people. No matter where you go, there's going to be somebody bad at their job. Now, is that because they're just not the right fit? Or maybe they just need some more time? Maybe they need a better training? Who knows? Maybe they're just not that great at being that particular spot. Who knows? But we need to stop criminalizing cops and start holding people accountable for their actions. We need to start as a society, as parents, which I'm not a parent yet, but I plan on being one in the future, near future. I will discipline my child. That's just a fact of life. I want my child to have respect for the people who protect us. I grew up respecting my elders. I grew up saying yes, well, maybe not yes sir, no ma'am, but I learned it over my time. Oh shit. I learned things, I learned to be respectful to my elders. If I wasn't, my dad, my grandparents, my mom would beat the shit out of me. And I don't mean literally beat me to black and blue. My dad spanked me. I believe a good spanking is a good thing. Am I saying tell them to get a switch and smack them in the back or grab your leather belt? Absolutely not. That's going too far. But I also believe in the sense of teaching people why that thing is wrong, not just yelling at them. I can't stand when a kid is at a grocery store and he's crying and bawling and throwing this big fit because mom won't buy a toy. Well, then mom buys a toy. That's you're rewarding that bad behavior, which in the long term shows the kid that it's okay. You can throw these temper tantrums and you're going to get what you want. That's not okay. It's just not okay. You need to have discipline in every aspect of life. I'm a strong believer in sports, playing sports, not necessarily for the glory of the sport. If a person happens to be good at the sport, great, pursue that. That's a great way to get a college education, possibly make money. The chances are slim, but it's a good way to start. At least get that college education. I'm not saying a college education is what everybody needs, but it's a good start. But sports brings discipline. Especially team sports. Football. I played football for a few years. Wrecked my arm, broke my arm pretty good, and I decided at that point in time that I really wasn't a great football player. I can think about the game better when I played it. Or I think about I'm okay, let me get my right words. I see the game more analytically than I can play the game physically. I love looking at the stats of things. I love seeing the new sports science breakdowns of things. Now, I don't necessarily that means everything in the game. Sometimes things just happen in a game and the right people in the right place, and it's getting those people to the right place that makes the play. But at the same time, there is science behind the game. Speed and leverage and all this stuff. If you look at it in those terms, there's a lot of things that you can control more or less. But at the same time, you have to be disciplined to do those things. And that builds that team bond. It's a team building thing, and it gets you used to the fact of we're going to win games, we're going to lose games. But in the end, you learn something. Did you have fun? All of us working together towards an outcome together. I played on I think I played 4 years? 4 or 5 years of football. I can't remember exactly. I played 1 year of flag football for my elementary school, and I had a blast doing that. That was a lot of fun. It doesn't necessarily teach you the discipline towards things but it starts that process. You have to learn the rules. You have to abide by the rules. You have to listen to the coach. You have to respect the elders. You have to have discipline. Then I moved up to tackle football. Well, tackle football is a whole different beast. You have to learn blocking assignments. I was always a lineman. I've always been built bigger than most. So I was always an offensive lineman or defensive lineman. I was never great, but that's not the point. The point is there was a year with a coach that I had. It was the only year that I played winning football. Well, that's not entirely true. The flag football team, we did really good. I think we only lost 1 game. But out of my, I think 3 years, I think 4 years of football. 3 years of tackle football I only had one winning season with a coach. But that coach, that one coach we had a winning season for, was the only coach that instilled discipline on the players. If we didn't say yes sir, no sir, we didn't follow with a sir, we were doing push-ups. Even with my broken arm, well, no, sorry. Even when I had hurt my hand pretty badly that year, actually. I split a blood vessel in my hand, and my hand swelled up to the size of a balloon. And it hurt. It hurt a lot. And I didn't say a sir on one of the things, and he called me out on it. Well, I couldn't clearly do push-ups, so he made me do twice as many sit-ups. There it goes out again. Talking too much. But it taught me so much about life. He would, every Friday night after practice, we would stop, or at the end of practice, we would all gather around him, and he'd teach us life lessons. How to shake a hand, how to talk to people correctly, stuff like that. It's been long enough that I don't remember every life lesson, or I have learned those life lessons in previous engagements, but he was teaching young men things to do. I mean, he was one of the first people that it takes more of a man to walk away from a fight than to be in a fight. But at the same time, never really, it's not back down from a fight. But it proves nothing. Oh, I can punch harder than you can? So freaking what? There's a lot of people in this world that can beat me up. A lot of people. But you know what? Good for them. They didn't prove they're a bigger man than me. In fact, they probably proved they're less of a man in some regards. It just shows that you can beat up a fat guy. Big whoop. He taught how to shake a hand properly, and we had to show that we could shake a hand properly. It's small things like that, building that discipline into people. Sports helps so many people get through things. I mean, I can't stand LeBron James. I don't necessarily think he's the greatest basketball player ever play. I honestly, truthfully, don't even think he's the best basketball player in my lifetime. And he's been here for almost my entire lifetime. And I don't necessarily agree with his political stances. But he grew up in Ohio as a black guy in not great circumstances, and he came out on top in the long run. He now makes millions of dollars. How many other athletes have made it to that point of being from nothing to making millions? How many? But that's the only ones you really hear about. There's I wouldn't say millions, but thousands and thousands of African Americans who joined the military and had great careers after that, making good wages. There's opportunities. You just have to learn how to take them. Don't hand everything to everybody. They don't learn. What we've been doing for the last few months in 2020, this is in July of 2020, we don't see that the government is just handing us a lot of things right now, and they're controlling every aspect of our lives. That's not okay. We need to step up and realize that was weird. That we don't need to be handed everything. We can work for our own things. I don't like panhandlers. There's always opportunities for jobs. Always. There's tons of people that hiring. McDonald's are always hiring. Walmart's are always hiring. Where I live, Hy-Vee is always hiring. There is always opportunities for jobs. You just have to put in the work for it. That's the problem, is not a lot of people want to work for it. They just want it handed to them. And you just can't live like that. You have to work for everything. I would love if the government, or if anybody would come up to me and go, here's $10 million. Have a great day. I would love that. I'd be ecstatic. But I'm not counting on that. Right now I'm in the middle of possibly moving to a different job. I'm hoping it pays more money. I don't know right now. I'm trying to figure it out. I would love it if it doesn't make more money, then there's no point in going working for this place. But I'm working towards a possibility of earning more money. I went to college for a year for automotive, and then I stopped, and I went and worked in a construction company for a year, and then I went for another one, which was ran by my dad and a friend for several years. I worked there for 4 or 5, 6 years, something like that. Made good money. Not great money, but made good money. I didn't own my own apartment. I didn't own a house. I lived with my dad or my mom for the most part. Didn't save money. I was done with it. But you know what? I had a good time a lot of times. I went on a lot of fishing trips down to Texas. I went down to Florida a few times. I had a motorcycle. I rode to Arkansas and back one year. I've rode up to, I didn't go to the Sturgis Rally, but I've been to Sturgis several times, and you just have to work for that. You can't just be expected to be handed everything. If you're willing to put in the work usually pays off. Now, sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Trust me. I know it doesn't feel like it necessarily all the time. It works out. I've put in a lot of work. Not probably as much as I should be, but I put in a good amount of work for my streaming. By the way, throw in here. I stream on Twitch. Right now, the guaranteed day that I will be on there from here on out, unless I'm on a vacation or something, is Saturday mornings. It'll be 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. I literally play everything, guys. Well, maybe not everything, but I play just about anything. This week, I have Ghost of Tsushima coming out this Friday. It's upcoming Friday, which be July 17th, and I am looking forward to it so well. I just finished Last of Us Part 2. A lot of people didn't like it. I fucking loved it. But I'll be streaming July 17th, or July 18th at 8 a.m. Ghost of Tsushima. Come follow. And follow this page. I should be putting more video game stuff on here soon. I want to be starting to make videos. I'm going to try to start making at least two videos a week for YouTube. I want to do a discussion. I'm thinking of calling it the smoke room. I'm going to be smoking a cigar. I have like 50 freaking cigars in this humidor, as you can see above my shoulder over here. I have, and I want to just discuss things. I'm going to try to discuss video games. I'll give reviews on video games here too. And I want to do like a video game. I want to do a video of I want to try to find games that are necessarily not mainstream stuff that not a lot of people will know about, or maybe they know about, just they don't play, or they want to know how to play it, or not necessarily know how to play it, but just playing it, just walkthroughs, or just see what it's about. And I just want to kind of get into that. I need to try to get a little bit better recording stuff. I want to get a new camera. This one's not the greatest, but it's working for the time being. I've owned it for quite a while. But back to the discussion at hand. You shouldn't be handed anything in life. You should work for everything. If it's a handout, then you start expecting handouts. I just think it's time as a society we stepped up and started not demanding the government hand us things or demanding the government to step in and help us. It's time we took America back. It's time we as a people stood up to the government and said, enough is enough, guys. Enough of this bullshit of back deals that end up hurting the country more than they're helping. I understand some of the deals in the long run will help, but do they? Let's go back. Let's go back to a time where the government stayed out of everybody's business. Let's go back to a time where everybody knew everybody and everybody was nice to people, where you could leave your cars unlocked at night because you weren't afraid people were going to steal them. I would just like to go back to a simpler time where people were people to each other. And there's been no time in history that people have been perfect to each other. There never will be. It's just not going to happen. And, you have people on all sides saying that the religion will help you if you get to there. Believe that if you want to. I don't necessarily believe that. There's people born evil. And those evil people will do what they think is right for their purpose. And I'm meaning by, it don't matter if you have guns, knives, bombs, a fork. They're going to do evil whenever they can. There'll always be those people, but they should be the anomaly. Can't talk. Anomaly. They should be the weird ones, not the norm. We should be people with understandings about other people. We don't necessarily need to like everybody, but we just need to not hate everybody. Why are we in that thinking that we need to hate everybody? We don't. I think the government is playing a lot of people, and they're doing all these deals. Realistically, right now, I think the left, Democrats, liberals, whatever you want to call them, the extreme lefts are trying to play political powers to try to keep certain people out of office. I won't say names. But we need to start realizing that it's not what they believe in, or not necessarily. They don't need to be the best person for the job. They just need to be the right person for the job. That's all I have to say on that. So, yeah. I'm going to spend the last, 12 minutes. I'm going to try to keep most of these under an hour or about an hour long. I'm going to spend the last 12 minutes going on a lighter topic. I'm going to try to do full reviews on games too I want to do reviews. If I don't have a video game post out that week about, playing a game, I want to try to review games. Maybe review movies. I watch a lot of movies. Probably won't do a ton of movie reviews just because there's not a lot I like to go see right off the bat. I'll probably do a review on Bill and Ted, the new one that comes out, which looks absolutely fantastic. I've watched the originals and I love them. And I'm really curious to see Keanu Reeves back in a comedic role. I think that's what he started his career out on. Maybe not necessarily started it on, but I think it's where he gained a lot of his fame was Bill and Ted. And then, of course, Matrix. That's where he got his real big break, I think. And then there's really no movies out that come to mind that I want to see the rest of this year, really. Of course, there's always movies being announced and all this stuff. I think next year for movies is going to really suck, to be quite honest. But I digress. This cigar is great. I think if more people smoked cigars and sat down and discussed with people, it'd be fantastic. It's just that simple. Let's talk like humans, people. Just talk like humans. That's all. I mean, it's that simple, guys. That simple. Let's just talk. If we just would sit down and talk as people, a lot more things would get solved the right way, not the wrong way. It's starting to get really hot. It's starting to lose its flavor. Yeah, I don't think that cigar's done. We're going to move it so the smoke doesn't keep hitting the camera. So, like I said, I'm going to try to start doing videos every 2 a week. I'm going to try 2 a week. I'm really going to try. If you want to see me another time a week, Saturday mornings, I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to try to keep going. It's very discouraging when you work very hard and you have nobody showing up, or right now there's just no games. I don't really necessarily care about the viewership. It's the games. There's just nothing to play. So I'm really hoping Ghost is going to come out and be really good. Ghost of Tsushima, I think it is. Anyways, they released a new Valhalla gameplay video today. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it looks absolutely fantastic. The combat looks fantastic. I love the ability to be able to dual wield anything, they said. Now, it looks like they had two-handed weapons. You can't dual wield those, which would be game breaking probably. I can imagine just two like claymore and but you can dual wield shields, which I found hysterical. You can play the turtle. I don't think I might do that just for shits and giggles, but that ability to being able to dual wield anything is just great. I love the ability. I'll probably run a sword and an axe, because that's a Viking thing. That'd be fantastic. And they have throwing axes, and the gameplay is a little broken. Not broken. You can tell it's not 100% quality stuff right now because they're still developing the game. It's stuff that they have been able to put together and they've put it up. They should be getting pretty close to fine tuning it. It's supposed to come out November 17th, and which, if I remember right, November 19th. Maybe it is the 17th too. It's either the 17th, 18th, or 19th of November. Cyberpunk's supposed to come out. Another game that I'm super hyped for, and I'm really hoping that they're both good games. And it's killer that I gotta buy both of these, and then I want to be able to buy either the Xbox or the PlayStation. I haven't personally decided. I own both. I like the Xbox a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more user friendly. I think the gameplay stuff's a little bit better, but the exclusives on the PlayStation side are fantastic. I love Xbox, but I know a God of War is coming up, and all these games they're announcing for the exclusives look just so good. So I'm having a hard time doing that. But spending $120 on 2 games in one day is a little hard. But at the same time, there's 2 games that I'm looking forward to. I mean, to the point of I don't even know how to describe it. Cyberpunk looks like a game that people have been wanting for some time. It's getting a little annoying that they keep pushing it back. I really hope they don't push it back again. In fact, I hope they do what they did with The Witcher, which Witcher 3, people don't remember. They had delayed it, and they have delayed it. And then I had a pre-order for it for like months in advance. And it was still not supposed to come out for like 2 or 3 more weeks. And GameStop at the time called me and said, hey, your copy of Witcher 3 will be available tomorrow. And it was like, oh my God, they pushed it up 3 weeks or something like that. See, I think they could do the same thing with Cyberpunk. If they think it's ready in September, they may release it in September. I truthfully think that. They've done it before. So it's a possibility. And I really hope they do, because there's no games after Ghost that I really want to play. I might buy Destroy All Humans, but the remake of that looks good. And then I don't know when the Mafia redo is coming out, the remake of that game, but I loved those games. The first 2 were fantastic. I didn't think the third was all that great. There was a lot of bugs and glitches and stuff in there. They might have fixed them. I remember in the rear view mirror that the game couldn't load fast enough, or you'd have a cutoff. So you couldn't see but like 5 or 6 car lengths behind you, and it'd start cutting it off, which I thought was just really not a great thing. I understand the purpose of having that, in the sense of you have to keep loading what's in front of you. I know that's how RPGs work, is they just load what's in front of you, and that's how they keep it from overloading your systems and stuff. It loads whatever in your point of view, but that's in your point of view. You should be able to see. I don't need it to be in 4K quality, but make it so it doesn't look like the game is unloading behind you. I think that was pretty trashy. But back to the games. I'm really hoping they release more info about Cyberpunk, because the game looks so good. I'm so excited for that. Valhalla looks so good. I gotta learn how to do some things on computers, and I want to do a reaction video on it, because it looks so good. Like I said, the combat looks a little bit wonky, but I think they're still fine-tuning it. The voice, you could see in the trailers, the voice didn't necessarily match up with the characters, and the characters weren't as great. Some of the videos were like really high quality, and the people looked amazing. Some of the other stuff wasn't as good looking, so I think it just needs some fine-tuning here and there, and it'll look really good. I think the game should play really good. They've definitely taken things from the last Assassin's Creed, which I loved. Origins and Odyssey were great. I think they learned a lot from Syndicate and Unity and all that shit. And they're putting a lot of things back into this game. I love the fact that the hidden blades and insta kill again, and they brought back in the video. I'll discuss it more in depth when we do a reaction video. I hope. They did a they show you can blend in again. It's like we haven't had blending since, I don't even remember. Did we have blending in 2? Oh no, we had blending in the Ezio stories. Yeah, so 2, Brotherhood. I don't remember. How was the third of the Ezio stories? I don't remember, but they were pretty garbage. Brotherhood was my absolute favorite Assassin's Creed. 2 was really good. I loved 3. I don't understand why people didn't like 3 necessarily, but it's your opinion. I loved 3. Some people, they said they didn't develop Connor a whole lot, which I don't think is fair to Connor. I don't know. Personally, I loved him. The new Assassin's Creed looks fantastic. Like I said, the combat looks amazing. I love the fact that you can dual wield any weapon, and that's just fantastic. Instead of like in Odyssey, where it was you either got like a sword and the spear, or a two-handed weapon or a shield. Oh, was it a shield? I don't remember. But it looks really good. I'm just excited for everything. So, like I said, guys, I will be doing these hopefully weekly. I'll be putting all my info on Instagram and my social media platforms. I think that this will be a weekly thing. I hope to get people in here discussing. I really hope I can get some people to watch this. Comment things. Please comment on what you think. Please comment on these. What you agree with, what you don't agree with. And I'll discuss it in later videos. If you want, we can try to set up more podcasty type things and have people discuss things with me. I don't want arguments. There's no arguments. This is a place of debate, not arguments. Now, I know people will say, oh, debates are arguments. To some degree, yes. But no yelling match arguments. I will end stuff like that. And I will ban people from pages for that. No name calling, none of that crap on this page. That's all I ask for. No name calling. Discussions, people. We're here for discussions. Let's have good discussions. I want to hear from both sides. Why does the left think that way? Why does the right think that way? As you can tell from this video, I sit typically a little bit more middle. I lean right. I don't necessarily get the point of views of some of the left. But what can you say? I want good debates. No name calling. Don't call anybody names. I will ban people for that. So please, if you like this video, like the video, subscribe. Please, like I said, I'll be putting more posts out here. When we start getting more videos, I'll start putting links and shit on the pages. Go follow me on Twitter at, shit, I gotta look it up. What is it? It should be on the page here. Hold on. God, I don't remember my Twitter handle and all that shit. So it's at beardedbig_foot. Instagram is the_beardedbigfoot. Those are my social media platforms for the time being. I'll be posting things there pretty regularly, trying to at least, announcing videos, stuff like that. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. We'll try to keep putting more videos out like this as long as I can find the time. Like I said, I'm moving. I got an interview Tuesday, moving job soon, so my schedule might be a little changed on certain things. Follow me on Twitch. I stream every Saturday, and then I usually stream in the week time. Now the Saturday thing might change. If I get a new job, I might have to work Saturdays. I'll have to work around what schedule I get. But for the time being, I will be every Saturday, 8 a.m. Standard Central Time. Follow me there, and we'll be playing video games. No politics on the video game channel. Politics here on this page if I ask for it. If like this video or videos where we're discussing it, I will. My reaction videos and stuff like that, we're going to keep it out. But that is it for me, guys. I really hope everybody enjoys this. I'm going to try to be putting more out. That is it from the smoking room, guys. I'm going to try to make some videos for intro and extro and all that fun stuff in the future. Right now, I need to figure out how to do that. But I will catch you this Saturday for sure. I might make another video talking about games and stuff here this week if I have some time. I should have some time in the mornings to do things. Not Tuesday, but maybe some other day I'll put out a YouTube video. Yeah. That's all I got for me. I'm the Bearded Bigfoot. Please like, follow, subscribe on all the social media platforms, Twitch. Let's start growing a great community together where we can grow an understanding and hopefully not maybe fix the world, but hopefully in the small corner of things help people discover the true meanings of being human, that we be true people, that we have disagreements, and it's okay to have that. So that's me signing off, guys. You have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you all later. Bye bye.